All right. Is there a website tool to like manage groups? That, I mean, because I know we have what I know of, we have the matrix room.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but I'm just thinking of something that's a little more like you go onto a page and you have like, there's this, there's that, you know, you see the upcoming meet. There must be something like that that I just don't know about.
Well, I mean, there's Basecamp.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know what
charges are and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just think that like that would maybe be the more of a glue to hold the thing together. Because if we could get people that could do their own little updates or something, I'm trying to get.
Well, I mean, we have a website that, you know, anybody that wants access, I can give them access to it.
But I just don't think that's not like an organizing thing, right? That's more of a public thing.
But I mean, if we want to like have like, you know, like post the meetings and stuff, there's no reason for that not to be public.
Okay.
I mean,
I guess I just want to be able to, like, I feel like if there's going to be flyers first, like with the flyers, we want to be able to use those flyers to point people to a website, I would think.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to have the website be cool, but we also need, I feel like outside of the flyers for like a general public audience, I feel like we need to be able to reach out to people and say, go to this.
Yeah, I mean, so we
like
can
you can
set
see
up
what
like
meetings are coming up. You can see
sub
like
URLs. That all needs to go on this URL. This is the place.
friendsofccmusic.org.
That's where it needs to go. Now, if we want to like have a subdomain that points to a calendar or something, that's fine. But like we already have a place.
Understood. Okay.
You know, and I've been posting stuff on here, you know, like to join us at these times and stuff. You know, like I'm not a UI designer. If we want to have like a calendar or something, I mean, I think that would make sense. I've tried not to like take us too far in a direction, you know, before we're able to like figure out like who's actually doing what, which hopefully we'll be able to figure out in January.
Okay.
But you know, it'll just depend on who you know gets involved in these things, you know. But
I mean, don't people feel more locked in if they like, if I don't know, if they have like an account that's visible or something on a website, like, you know, like in the group part of a website or something? I just feel like everything is very, people don't feel like connected to this. That's
okay. Well, like I can give people accounts. Like I mean, you know, like I don't know, like if people want accounts, like.
Well, that's why I'm trying to think of like a better, I don't know, a better tool for it, because, or maybe we could.
I mean, we could try like, you know, do a branded like Mastodon instance or something. But the thing is that like in my experience, people don't want to sign up for another thing.
I understand.
I don't know.
Does Google have a groups thing or anything?
I mean, there is. It's just an email list, though. So
yeah, that's not really. Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to like reach out to people and stuff. I just want to give them something to like latch on to.
Yeah. I mean, there's a Slack that people could join. I mean, there's all sorts. There's a Discord people could join. Nobody fucking joins anything. So like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah.
I know there's the matrix, but like,
yeah, I think Sam and I, well, so I mean, you know, again, we've tried to like not duplicate the wheel, but
okay.
so like there's Block Sonic. I don't know if I can change the name of this. Let's see if I can change the name of this. Server settings. Looks like I can.
So maybe Discord would be the way. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to complain about it, but I guess people complain about everything. So
They do.
All right.
And it has events. It has a calendar.
Oh, I mean, Discord is just chat. As
Yeah.
far as I know, I don't really know a lot about it. Let's see here. I mean, I know with like the paid stuff, you can like, I mean, we can add different, well, it does have events, it looks like, but I don't know how to schedule an event for any planned activity in your server. I mean, it kind of suggests we'd start calls from Discord, but people can just know that that's not what we're gonna do. Yeah. Let's create events somewhere else. Enter a location. The way I'm going to break this up on the stream in January is each of one of these is going to be its own. You know, we're going to hit probably like we'll try to like do it at the 55th minute of the hour. You know, hit stop, and then you know people can go get coffee or use the bathroom or whatever they need to do, and then we'll start rolling again. You know, it won't kick everybody out of the Jitsi, but we'll stop recording and take a break and then get going at the top of the hour. So I wonder if we should do that here too. Maybe break it up by the hour. The only problem is if we change these, then it hasn't changed them in two spots, but probably better to do it right the first time though. Does not repeat. How does this all look? I don't know what happens if you just click on that outside of your event link expires in 7 days. Interesting. I don't know why why it would do it that way, but all right, so it does show events. It doesn't like pop anything in the main channel if you do that. But they're there. I guess I haven't posted this in here. I don't really know what to call this other than agenda. It's more of a schedule, I guess. Yeah, I mean, maybe that needs to be like, I mean, we have website and logo on the agenda, but I don't know what if that's sort of the best place to yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, let's are there any of these that we think the three of us are well positioned to discuss?
Honestly, there's a lot of these things on here that I don't really know anything about. Like, I also don't really know what fundraising is, and
Well, you know what fundraising is.
well, yeah, but I don't know how to, I don't know how to develop it or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess for the branded shows, would that be like a new version of like the weekly music um chats that we would share videos on,
Yeah, I
or is
mean
that
this
something
this
else?
this could be a lot of different things. So, I mean basically like my initial thought was that, you know, if you're putting up content, you know, it's a way to like attract visitors. But you know, the PeerTube stuff, you know, there hasn't been like a lot of hits.
So
You
it
know,
could
like
be, I guess, in theory, a way for like new artists or people to um, like a net label owner could share a bunch of like music videos of like their latest releases or something, or some artist can share their new music.
yeah, it wouldn't have to be videos. I mean, you know, like I've been using YouTube to PeerTube because you know, it's easy. There's a large reason why. But you know, this could also just be audio format. Um, you know, and one thing, you know, we could do, I don't know how difficult this would be to set up, but we could like potentially set up different peer tubes for each thing. I'm not, so the way that it works right now is Dalek Zone. The reason I picked it, it has a YouTube sync feature where it used to anyway. Let's see what we can find in here. I don't want that. Moderation. My syncs. So, I mean, I guess I guess they'd need to be separate channels, which we could do. You know, the way that would end up looking on YouTube would be like we'd have Friends of CC Music, something, Friends of CC Music, something else. We could put them all together, you know, with like you know, we could just like only feature the other Friends of CC Music stuff. That would be one way to do it, to sort of like link them all together. But yeah, I mean, you know, so the YouTube stuff has done better than the PeerTube. You know, so 19 views, 41 views. You know, a lot of them are getting double digits. So, you know, 71 views. I mean, it's not a lot, but you know, the in comparison to the PeerTube, you know, it's like 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 1. I mean, I don't know if we've ever broke. I feel like we did at one point break double digits. So we had like one popular show, I think. I mean, this one got like 0 views. I guess I was wrong. So Rhino's got 9 views, but you know, so we've never hit double digits on PeerTube. So you know, PeerTube is not really a. I mean, maybe it could be if we pushed it more. I don't know, but the discoverability on PeerTube is apparently not very good.
Yeah.
So, you know, but again, you know, these are not great on YouTube, but you know, we're getting there for a while. We were consistently getting double-digit views. So, I mean, this one's 9, basically double digits. So that is something we could do, but like, it takes a lot of time to do that stuff. And then it's like, who's going to do it? And, you know, that sort of thing.
The videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so, I mean, the basic question is, I think with this, I mean, ultimately, like if we're just thinking about like, you know, the people that are, let's just think about the 3 of us here, you know, like, is it worth the 3 of us of our time to do like a monthly or a weekly show, or would that time be spent doing something else? That's the basic question, you know.
a monthly or weekly show to highlight bands, artists.
Wouldn't have to be. Well, it could be anything. I mean, so you know, we were doing interviews there for a little while. And those seem to do pretty well.
I enjoyed the interviews. Yeah.
Yeah, the interviews are more work than you know, some of the other stuff. But you know, there does seem to be some amount of payoff with the number of views as well. I haven't like run any stats on that, but it seems like that they do a little better. But you know, it takes time to schedule and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, you know, it's like, let's say our average is 20. You know, I'm just eyeballing it here, but let's say maybe that's, you know, we'd have to look at specifically the interviews and stuff, but let's just say it's 20. Is 20 views, is that a good use of time? You know, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I think probably the biggest thing to figure out, you know, is like steering committee stuff and like who's gonna actually, you know, have the time to like be involved and want to be involved. It doesn't look right for committee.
Well, I think it's confusing what being involved it means. That's the.
Well, that's why we have to have an articles of incorporation that clearly define, like, you know, like the roles of the
Right.
individuals. So
it's the chicken and egg thing, which is
yeah,
people who are not involved or you know, like if we were doing one thing, maybe we'd get a certain amount of people, but maybe that wouldn't be the thing to do. But
yeah,
if we were trying to do something else, maybe you don't get anybody involved, so you can't really do it anyway. Like, that's, I guess that's where I end up going towards, like trying to pull in the things that we're already doing. So, I mean, it's like always stepping on toes. Like Rhino has a show.
Yeah.
Right. Rhino has a weekly show that he's kept doing for over 10 years. And to me, the question is like, how do we build off of that?
Yeah. Well, I
That's
mean,
where I would go. Now, if I know if I knew of other things like that, I would say, okay, well, how do we build off of that? And
yeah. I
that's
mean,
what I just
I
don't
think
know.
that the thing is that like if we, like we we have to decide if we want to like ultimately we're like if there is a stream that we do that's separate from Rhino, then we end up competing with Rhino.
Agreed. So that's
So I
to me, that's
mean,
the stepping on toes thing, which is what I want to say to Rhino. Is I want to say I want your stream. I mean, this is the shit, right?
yeah,
This is obvious, right? But I want your stream to be the CC Music stream.
yeah. I think I mean that's fine. Yeah, I mean Rhino's just got to make the decision that that's something that he
Right.
wants to do, though. I
And
mean,
then I want to put on, I want other people to put on shows during, not during, at different times.
yeah,
And for us to have a website that has a weekly listing of when the different shows are on, and to have people that are already doing shows to put their show on here and to promote their shows on here, and to be able to reach out to artists to say, what can we do to help you and to highlight you? If you know how to do it, you come on and you can do a show every, once a week and find a time slot and all that. And maybe people would move around or whatever. Or, would you want to help us promote a show that where when you have new music or we play your music, or and to reach out and to all make that as part of this stream, and to not only so you guys are out there and you're getting your music listened to and new stuff gets come on and all that, but you're also telling other people about it. So we're mutually growing each other. You're growing the scene by telling people about it. We're helping you by telling people about your music. Right? Is that?
yeah. I mean that
Yeah.
makes sense.
But the starting crux is Rhino, and I don't know. And then we have something going there. We build more on the website besides the list of the shows and the link to a stream. And we're also constantly telling people, well, this is why you should release your music as CC. And not only does it, there's no real downside to doing it as far as we understand. And that's the thing I want to tell, that's your legal background kind of that I feel is important to that. And to talking to other artists about that. But we're helping them do that. We're eventually maybe, connecting to tools and stuff. And I don't know. We're then telling people about shows. We're then trying to connect them to ways to do shows. We're being the old school network of you're in this town, maybe this place will have a do show for you. And we're trying to be like the zine or the scene builder for CC
Yeah.
Music.
So we're using shows in two separate ways.
Correct.
Here. So I don't have like a spot on here for Rhino stuff, because the regional org stuff is really tied to what we might be doing with Rhino's live shows, because the question is whether or not like the Rhino's live shows, are they going to be like a Friends of CC Music US thing, or are they going to be like a Friends of CC Music global thing?
Well, see, I just don't see a distinction at this. Like, I feel like we start with one thing.
Well, I mean, so like legally speaking, like
That's
it's important. It's important who is doing that. Like if we're going to have different organizations, then like we got to decide who's doing what. And maybe we just like maybe it's too soon for regional orgs.
That's what I would say.
We'll just have to deal with the problems of creating them is going to cause in the future. I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe we just don't ever get big enough to do it. So,
yeah, let's hope we have that problem.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to have that problem, but I want to be able to get it off the ground, and if that's a stumbling, like if we found somebody, if we found a rhino of Asia
Yeah.
and they want to be separate, then let's do that. But I,
I'm thinking about these first two agenda items here. Still might be good for early morning.
and like Rhino already, yeah, I just don't want to. I mean, he has his stream, right? But then he also jumps on the No Agenda stream for his when he does his show live. And so, in my head, there's always that possibility too. Something where there's a shared.
I don't know. I guess I thought I had like some math here, but I guess I didn't for the Japan one. And then I just didn't type appropriately. All right. So,
Like the other thing is there's a million. Well, there's a lot of podcatchers, right? People have different podcatchers that they use on their, that's the app, whatever, podcast app, whatever, on their phone.
yeah.
But there isn't one for like live streams. Like that's just not even a thing right now, which is weird and frustrating.
Well, I mean, Winamp used to have like radio streams.
Do they have an app
Radio player and stuff.
for your phone?
Yeah, I don't know.
A live stream of a podcast?
No, like
Internet
for
radio.
internet radio. I don't. That's the thing. We don't even have a term, like the correct term for it anymore. Like,
I think probably most people do that themselves, but I don't know. I know Winamp went through like some big changes recently.
yeah.
Let's see if I have a mobile app. VLC will do it. So there's something called Winamp.
Right.
It's not rated very high.
I have a way to do it. It's just there's like nothing that's like, I don't know, dedicated to it. Makes it nice, and you know what I mean. Like back in the day, you could pull down RSS feed. Back in the day, you could do podcasting, but now that's a thing. You know what I mean? We just don't have internet radio as a thing, which
Yeah.
kind of kills what we're trying to do. I feel like because
Well, I mean that's yeah, a concern. It's like, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't want to compete with Rhino is because there's like that. I feel like that's kind of a niche thing anyway.
it's a niche thing, but it's a community builder thing. That's what I'm trying to find is like, how do we turn this into a community instead of, oh, I also like, I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking there are a few net labels that have consistently released new music like every month lately, like Mahorka and Jumpsuit Records.
Right.
I wonder if for like a branded show, like if it happened like once a month, like the owners of those net labels could like come on and like talk about their new releases or something. I don't know. They
Totally.
already have like a big following because like the Bandcamp pages have a lot of supporters, but I don't know. It seems like they already have a community, and so maybe they could like combine into the CC music community of us. I don't know.
100%. And if they didn't want to do it, I mean, I feel like I would do it. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I would listen to their releases and do a show. Like, yeah, so there's like Jumpsuit Records. That's the main one Oh, there's the one that...
Do you know about Mahorka?
No. How do you spell that?
I can send you the link.
Okay.
It's Mahorka. They've been releasing things like crazy lately, like at least 4 albums a month.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
It's based in Bulgaria, but they don't only have Bulgarian artists.
What's the one I was just... Yeah, okay. Shit.
Doug, I have a question about Black Sonic.
Okay.
I saw like a month ago that there was supposed to be a new net block coming out, but I don't think it released.
No, not all that. It's like Donnie's stuff is the last one that came out. I mean, Block Report came out.
Crafting Room Records. They seem to put out a lot. Recordings.
Oh, really?
Maybe it hasn't been a while.
I feel like
found
they
it.
do a lot of singles, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but
Sure.
Yeah, 2 months ago, a Black Sonic Blue Sky app said that the net block number 57 would come out on October 25th, but I don't see it posted on the website. So I guess it didn't release.
Mike just redid the website, so I wonder if like he broke it.
I have a Mahorka saved here that I was gonna download eventually. Infinite Fidelity, Rosso, Gadgeto, and Black Saturn. Okay. I have a bunch of these saved that I try to get on Bandcamp Fridays, but all because of Rhino. Mostly because of Rhino.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if it was out, it would show up here at the very least.
Yeah.
See if we can maybe, yeah. Yeah, I can ask him about that, because I mean, like I said, the latest Block Report came out on time, and then next week the December episode should be coming out. So
Okie dokie.
Ask him about that. All right, so I've got the agenda items here. Let's think about the timing of the day and like when we might want like Europeans to be involved and what we think is like important stuff to talk about. I put the steering committee up front because I feel like that's a time when a lot of people will be available. You know, like it's late in Japan, but some of the guys I know in Japan, they're night owls, so that should be okay. It's early on the West Coast, but it's not like 4 a.m. So maybe that's doable. But like, you know, I can move some stuff around. And I put elections last because when we talked about elections before, people kind of didn't think it was super important. So, or at least not, you know, not at the time. Time could be spent in other ways. So I don't know. What do we think?
How do you feel about the CC Hall of Fame now?
I mean, in what respect? Just anything about it, or?
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know.
Well,
Should it exist? Or
I mean,
would you define a Creative Commons Hall of Famer?
well, so when we talked about this before, we were talking about, you know, having been around putting out music for at least 10 years was one of the criteria. But I mean, the criteria would have to be like discussed by, you know, like, I guess if we're not gonna have like enough people that have been around for long enough involved, then I don't think it's worth doing, you know. But it was originally conceived as, you know, the CCMA was like, you know, this is current, this is what's happening in the scene now. But, you know, then there's a lot of back catalog that's really good. So that's a way to like highlight some of that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I just don't know if we have like enough people. That's really what it boils down to.
So musicians that have been releasing under CC for at least 10 years.
Yeah,
I know Effervescent has a new album coming out in January or so. He would definitely qualify because he's been releasing since the
yeah.
early 2000s. Um,
See this? Oh, see, okay. You guys talking about this, and it makes me think there should be a section for this on the website. And I feel like I could talk to you guys or other people about this stuff and then come together some kind of article to be like, this is what you should know about these artists. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to do it. I mean, you know, so one thing too that, you know, needs to be discussed is like, you know, do we want to merge this stuff into the same URL? And then like the CC CMA, like does the Hall of Fame need to be like part of this or separate? Or there's a lot of sort of like organizational stuff to discuss around that. Like Mike set this all up in YAML to try to make it easy for somebody to like oh, that's the wrong one. For somebody to like get involved. Is that not the right? No. All right. Let's go back here. But like we haven't been able to get anybody else like involved. So yeah, I don't know. Like
So I'm sorry, what does YAML do?
So basically, like in this particular case, the YAML allows you to like not have to write HTML. So you just sort of like put in the winners and stuff like this. And then there's a script, it's JavaScript somewhere in here, I don't know. Probably in here. Yeah, this JavaScript like builds the website. So, instead of just like a wall of text, you have this pretty stuff that
Oh,
but
okay.
but yeah, so like
So it's pulling directly from the GitHub?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
just
So
change the thing in GitHub and it's gonna show up
yeah,
on the website?
yeah. So you can
Oh, shit.
see like the content here. I thought that I created one for 2024, but I guess I didn't. Or maybe I just didn't check it in because we're looking at main here. Oh yeah, so I have my own branches here. Yeah, I thought I did that, but I guess I didn't. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
But you can see that Mike was working on some stuff 22 days ago. But yeah, so I mean, like, the thing is that like,
So that's how that's how we should build a site if we want to have a more advanced site, right?
I don't think so because
No?
apparently nobody knows how to use YAML. I think that just like WordPress and then, like you just type the stuff in that you want to say is way easier. Although, it's not, although people aren't getting involved with that either. So maybe,
Okay.
Hola. I don't know who, I don't see a name. I think my
I see
screen
Herr
shares.
Yeah, that's me. I'm from Berlin. I know you thinking about design decisions. I'm just here as someone who is trying to promote CC music. I'm just will mute my microphone, but listening and maybe chime in if something is there where I can help. If
Fair
that's
enough.
okay with you.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's great.
Okay, thanks.
No. But yeah, so I mean, the thing is like this is a project by itself, and it's been a struggle to get people involved. And then if we're gonna add the
Yeah.
like the Hall of Fame on top of it, and then we have like the organization of the Friends of CC Music. Like I basically can't do this and Friends of CC Music. And so like I've kind of like intentionally not done stuff with, and I'm gonna keep not doing stuff at least until January with the CC CMA because
Okay.
like if somebody wants that to exist, they've got to step up and make it happen. Because like I can't do both. And this is one of the things why one of the reasons why I want to do elections, because I wanted it clear that people wanted me to run,
Right.
the Friends of CC Music. Because like I can't do all of these things. So, and that's sort of the thing about the branded shows is like I was the one doing the shows, like Donnie used to be involved and then Donnie stopped being involved, and like so I'm the guy. So like
Got it.
I can't keep doing all of these things. So
Okay.
we gotta decide what's important. Either somebody's got to step up and take over one of those things, or we gotta decide what we want to do. Because I like doing the shows, but I'm just not sure that like it has the reach that
Sure.
is as useful as it could be. I mean, this was the tension that was always with Music Monument, is that like we like people seem to enjoy the show, but like we weren't able to like take it to the next level, and
Right.
like
We got to take, I mean, that's the thing. We got to take better advantage of what people are already wanting to do
yeah,
and bringing them in and using them to build the community to like, two-side that.
yeah.
Like Lorenzo's music, right? Like his show, that should be on the stream.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure there's like probably at least 10 other things that I don't know about.
Yeah. I mean, if the shows are CC, then like we could just put them on there,
Right. Right.
I don't know.
But I just want them to, the thing is not, if we connect to them, then the hope is that they would, promote us, we promote them. And
yeah. So one thing that might be interesting. So Rhino's show other than like his weekly show, is primarily just music.
Correct.
So maybe doing a stream that like pulls in, you know, like Enough Records, their show, and any of the other like CC music. I mean, there's kind of this. At some level, you have to like figure out where you want to draw that line. Like the Bugcast is like 99% CC music. I mean, maybe it's all of CC music these days. I'm not even 100% sure.
Bugcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been doing this thing for like forever. I mean, they don't brand themselves as like any sort of CC stuff, but like they've been doing like
Mastodon.
Jamendo stuff. I mean, you can see here Jamendo, Lorenzo's music, you know, those. So like, you know, it's like, do you grab that and put that on the stream? Like, I don't know what their license is, or if they license the show.
Right. Go to the top there. Sorry, go down a little to the. They have a song list.
Yeah.
Oh, they got Lorenzo's music on there. So okay.
Yeah. So let's see. So that's archive.org, Jamendo, CC Mixter, Jamendo, Lorenzo'smusic.com, Jamendo. I mean, like Dave was involved with CC Hits. I mean, Dave was
CC Hits.
Yeah, CC Hits is. I might still be up, but it's I mean, it's officially dead. But they've got I guess the website is still up, so you can go up here and see much. Yeah. But the thing about
I was looking for something like this for years, and you just you just type it in and there it pops up and it's dead already. Right. Oh man, that's a little bit sad. But if there is some kind of a CC centered music page where you just accumulate all that, right? And which is easy to find by a search engine. That is something I was really struggling with when I wanted to get into this scene, because I do CC music by myself, and I wanted to connect, and it was so difficult to connect. And it's good that you guys try to start an initiative to promote those things a little bit better than it happened before. So not small islands here and there, hard to find, but some central organization to get the thing floating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say this. And also because I'm from Germany, from Europe, there are some people here, especially in Germany, who try to push CC music a little bit more, like FC Stoffel, who has a radio show only dealing with CC music. And in Dresden, which is a town here, there are multiple people trying to push it. And I have a radio show here in Berlin where I in parts play CC music, not only, but sometimes. So like 30%. So do you think you will more center on US American CC music, or are you more international interested?
Well, so we talked about this a little bit earlier, but the idea that I had, was to have like local organizations. Now, what local ends up meaning will be different. I mean, maybe local just means continental, like, or even like sub-region, like maybe Canada and US, and then like Mexico and, Central America or something like that. So, or maybe it means by country, I think, for a country like the U.S.,
you have to start somewhere. I understand
Yeah.
that you can't start with the whole thing. You have to
Yeah.
grow. I understand totally.
But
I just want to know
right.
what's the scope.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're also, Doug has made a point because he's been through this. You know, we also want to do it the smart way. So if we do end up building in such a way, we don't kind of screw ourselves because of the way we've, you know, structured things in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
I guess the thing that my concern with not having at least a framework for local organizations to start off with is that people will people won't feel like they have the power to like do stuff locally. So yeah, I'm not sure, like there's this like you want to give people like a framework. And so right now the way that I guess unofficially, I don't know, as official as it gets at this point, is that I'm in charge of the global organization and Rhino is in charge of the US organization. We thought that would make things simple and that would help us like template it for other people, but I think maybe us being in the same place is maybe not the best way to start things. Like maybe if we got somebody in another country to be like, okay, I'm the guinea pig. We're gonna figure out how like having a local organization, how does running that and having like some autonomy. I mean, basically we're talking about like a federation, you know, like like you have like the Secretary General of the UN, you know, is like kind of like in charge of the UN, but like, you know, then you have all the like constituent countries that have, you know, their sovereign nations. Like that was kind of the idea, is that everybody is kind of like empowered to like you know what is best for like your local scene. Like, you know, if you live in a country that's, you know, or even like in the US, if you live in like, you know, Arizona or New Mexico or Texas or something, like, you know, does it make sense to have things in English and Spanish? Like that's a decision that is like best made locally. So I've long, and I don't think we're ever going to get here, but when I started the CC Community Music Awards, my goal was that it would be super like local, that like every state would have a winner. That was my goal, because I think having those local organizations is how that you spread things, you know, like word of mouth. But you know, getting that off the ground, yeah, it's just a lot of work. So I don't know, like what, I mean, you know, maybe Stoffel will come around on running the German one. I don't really have like I don't have anybody else in mind that as like this would be a good person, that like they're involved at a level that, you know, and understands what we're trying to do. But maybe in January, when we have the big meeting, maybe something will show up. I mean, part of the problem is that like everybody's already doing a lot of stuff, you know. So it needs to be somebody who like is involved but not too involved, you know. Like so I don't know. But yeah, so that's sort of my goal, is that like people would have you know, run things locally and do things locally.
Being empowered a little bit by your help, right?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. So I mean, I think we kind of need
a central point to meet up.
Yeah. So, you know, whether or not that. So my original idea was that we would get together once a year physically, but I think that might be too complicated. So maybe doing something like
we're doing. And so yeah, that's complicated. Yes.
And you know, Rhino is real big on having like live shows, but like that's like another level of complication. So I think, I mean, what he said about like, if we get together, we should try to put the show, that makes like sense on a surface level, but like I think it just like it gets too complicated too quickly, and like like noise ordinances and like like if you just want to get together and like chat with people locally, like you can do that at like a coffee shop, and that's not like a huge deal, especially if it's like a small group. But like then if you want to like play music, then like yeah, the venue's got to have like licensing rights and all sorts of stuff. I mean, or if all the bands like no, they can't play covers and stuff, then that's then they don't need that. But that's like another, that there's this gray area where a lot of CC bands, they like play covers of non-CC music, and it's like, well, I mean, you can't do that unless you're gonna pay for the and that's fine because like most venues do have that, but that's just so you can't just like show up someplace and like do that. But in any case,
okay. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you too much. I just just was remembering. It comes like a flashback to me, all those things. Sorry. I remember you will have a big meeting in January. January. I think you are very wise to be careful here to not overblow the thing because that may grow above your head. So I think you are on a good track here. I will listening a little more. I'm just muting my microphone, and if I have something to say, and I'm not interrupting in the way because I'm not so much an insider like you seem to be. Then you just stop me, okay? Sorry for that.
If you have any links you want to put in the chat too, I'd love to see any links to your shows or anything like that.
I see. Okay. Now I can bring the two German guys I want to mention, which are very agitative, so to say, to push CC music. I'm just a radio guy who plays like 30%, but I can give you my show as well. Yeah. I'm not entirely CC. Yeah. Okay. I give you something to write in the chat. I have to get my dinner from the kitchen. I'm back in a minute.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. That's the whole like some CC, not CC. That's something, I don't know if that's like a topic we need to discuss like in January. I don't know if that's like a top level topic, but that is something we need to like figure out some guidance on how we're going to handle that kind of stuff, because I think that that's probably where there is a lot to be gained, is getting like some CC music into those sorts of arenas. Like when Bandcamp Daily like highlights CC music, like I always try to like post that when I see it and stuff. But I think that's probably where some growth comes from. All right, so I think probably just timing wise, we should start to bring things to a close. Do we want to meet again before January? Like I still don't have flyers on the agenda. We could try to do the flyers meeting again and see if Rhino can come.
I mean, maybe. What do the flyers end up doing? You know what I mean?
Well, so I'd really like Rhino to, be the one to say, but basically the idea is that, you have a show and or an event. It doesn't necessarily have to be a show, or it could be like some sort of multimedia thing where there's some sort of event that has some live music as well. But both to like you have something to give to musicians, like, so maybe it's a local event and it's like sort of like, maybe it's not branded CC in any sort of way, but it's like open art or something, and it's like just vaguely about like sharing things and not necessarily about the licensing. So it would be maybe more targeted at new people, and then you would be like giving things to musicians, to like, this is why CC music is a great way to go, but also for like audience.
So directly informational on the flyer.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think that like I can put info on a page, but like
Right.
I think it probably needs to like look good, and like then
Right.
there's things about like what sort of like paper do we
Right.
want? I mean, and again, maybe that's like a local thing to kind of discuss, like, what, like if you want it on cardstock or just like regular like paper and cut it and be flimsy. But I mean, we could work on the text separately. But I do think actually like maybe not the like stiffness of the actual physical material, but like the size is important because like that gives you a like that tells you how much information you can put on there, and it be, you don't need a magnifying glass. So yeah, that would be something that I would hope Mike could come forward since he has some design experience.